If you're filing a visa petition for a family member, one of the hardest things about this process is how long it takes. It's insane. If you want to apply for your fiance or your parents or your husband or your wife or your children, it could take so long. Right now, the processing delays are very hard to predict. I'd say it could take anywhere from a year to 2 years. This is for an immediate relative of a US citizen. How do you cope with this delay? Well, it's really not easy, and my heart goes out to anyone struggling with these sorts of delays. One of the questions that people always ask me in this situation is, can you come into the US and visit while the process is underway? And that's the question we're gonna dig into today. If you don't know me, my name is Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer in Los Angeles. I help people across the country and around the world. I'm the founder of this YouTube channel, Immigration Station. And here we're all about helping people get unstuck, overcoming hassles so they can be with their loved ones and achieve their immigration goals. As I said in the intro, you've applied for a family member, your husband, your wife, your children, your parents, and you come to find out that the visa application process is going to take a year and a half, 2 years. Things drag on, and you don't want to be separated from your loved one for that long. It's horrible. So what do you do? How do you cope with this? And can you come in as a visitor while the application is pending? In other words, to clarify, let's say a US citizen petitioned for you and you're outside the US. Can you enter the US as a visitor under ESTA or with a visitor visa while the application is underway? Let's start with the general rule. Anyone who has the intention of emigrating to the US is not allowed to enter as a visitor. That's the general rule. In other words, if you were to go to a visa interview at a US consulate abroad and they asked you, why do you want a visitor visa? And you say, I'm married to a US citizen and I plan to get a green card through marriage and I want to visit the US. They're probably not going to give you the visa because you have what's called immigrant intent. If you have immigrant intent, the visitor visa is not for you. However, this is what I want you to know. If you are the beneficiary of a visa petition, if you're seeking to immigrate, what you could do is you could try to come into the US as a visitor under ESTA or with a visitor visa, and you could tell the person at the airport that you are just visiting. And that would be true. Let's say that you eventually plan to get a green card through a visa process, but on that particular trip, you're just going to enter as a visitor. You could try this, but it does carry with it some risks. What if at the airport they start asking you questions? They're only going to allow you to come into the US if they are convinced that you actually plan to leave the US at the end of your stay. You can't use the visitor visa to just stay in the US indefinitely. So how would you prove that you plan to go back to your home country? Well, you'd have to show proof of employment, proof that you have a residence, whether you own a home or you're renting, that you have a car, that you have a job, that you have family in the US. And your argument, if you're going to try to come in as a visitor, is that yes, you do plan to immigrate. You do have an immigration case open. Yes, you do. But on this particular trip, you're just here to visit. That's it. Attempting to enter as a visitor while your immigration case is pending is not without its risks. You could be interrogated at the airport, and that's not fun. It's very harassing for you to be questioned like this. No one enjoys this. And at the same time, there's a risk you could be turned away. If they don't think you're really gonna go back to your home country at the end of your visit, then they won't let you in and they'll turn you around. It could greatly complicate your immigration case. So you have to ask yourself whether the risks are worth it or not. Given how long it takes to get immigration cases pending right now, this is something that you're really gonna have to consider what to do. The answer to my question is yes, you can try to come in as a visitor. There are risks. You have to understand the framework behind this. And if you have further questions, reach out to me or let me know. I wish you all the best with this. These processing delays are not easy. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks.